Hi, I'm Nick from NME, and we're here today with Inhaler. How's it going?
Hey Nick.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Hi, guys.
Good, man. How are you?
I'm not bad. How's the last year been for you? I mean, it's been tough enough for any musician, but a band like yourselves who's like been gigging, making your name out there, and then it suddenly all grinds to a halt. How was it for you?
I think we're the lucky ones, to be honest, because there's a lot of bands who've just released their record before the pandemic happened, and luckily, you know, we hadn't finished ours, and so we got time to work on that. And I think, in a weird sense, the album maybe benefited from the time that we got to, you know, spend on it. So yeah, I think it's definitely been hard not being able to do gigs, and I think more importantly for us, like, we haven't been mates for a year, and I mean, we went from like playing together non-stop from when we were 16 to not seeing each other at all, and that was pretty hard. That was probably the hardest part about it for us.
And it won't always be like this. It's coming out in July. How excited are you to just finally get that debut album out there?
Mate, it feels like it's 8 years of work finally coming to a close.
Yeah.
That's how long it feels. I mean, that's how long we've kind of all known each other, really. So it feels like we're finally to be able to get it out is kind of a relief.
It's a bit scary, you know. It's like letting your kid go off to college.
In like the sense of like having it out there in the big world wide.
Yeah. In a weird way, I don't want it to come out, but
I'll stay here. You're never coming out. But...
No,
He might get bullied in school, but we just have to let him see it for himself. So. That's the risk you have to take, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really excited. It's weird for us as well because there's a few songs on the album that we've had for so long. So it's been interesting to try and get songs that we wrote ages ago and still keep them kind of feeling fresh to us and get them on the album because it's been such a long process.
We've gone through so many different, you know, like eras of what kind of music we're into, and like, you know, it started off like we wanted to be the Stone Roses, and then it was like the Strokes, and like, so I think like our music has kind of grown up with us, and this next single, Cheer Up Baby, like I think we wrote that when we were like 17, and we played it at every gig we've ever played. It's a big moment for us, like letting that one out, I think.
For sure, yeah.
Is that the reason why you chose it as the lead single? What made you be like, right, this is the one that we want to go along and tell everyone that our album is going to finally be out there?
For us, it's always just kind of been a bit of a cornerstone song for us. Our fans are always talking about that song. They always want us to release it, and I think it's a bit of a love letter to our fans, really, this next single, and I think that's why we wanted to choose it as the first one to open up the album.
That sense of like a love letter, is that like sonically, is that in the sound, is it in the lyrics? Why do you think it is this kind of love letter to your fans?
I think it's lyrically as well. Like, I think a lot of young people, especially in these times, are dealing with mental health issues, and a lot of people can get stuck in their own heads, and I think that's what the song is. It's loosely based on a conversation between two people. You know, there's a line, when I think of all the things I didn't do, I can't help but blame it on you, which is kind of like, you know, it's about getting over yourself. And if you ever had a friend who's dealing with that kind of stuff, sometimes it's as easy as just reaching out your hand and talking. And like, I think that's what it means to us, really, you know, cheer up, baby. You're not on your own. It's just kind of a love letter to all our fans who are probably feeling isolated.
Yeah, in this day and age, like the time that we're in right now, I think it's very easy for people to like lose hope or to feel like there's no end to just all the rubble that we're in at the minute. And I think that this song offers our fans and anyone who's going to be, you know, just discovering us now, I think it offers them a sense of reassurance and hope that things also can get better.
Yeah,
as well.
And do you think that then, like, when the like live music comes back as well, it's going to be like this release for people who have been like pent up, they kind of, you know,
I can't wait to see
I think it's going to be wild.
It's going to be like the 90s again. The first time was great.
Yeah, you know, the Roaring 20s, I think.
You remember the Roaring 20s, don't you?
I mean, hopefully, look, I mean, you know, they're talking about gigs coming back in August, which would be great. I mean, we're dying. We've just been able to play together for the first time since when?
Since like October.
Yeah.
October, and like, it's a really incredible feeling when you actually come back and you realize what you've created together. Because I think when you're not working, you get involved in your own life and there's other things going on, but coming back to like your workspace and being with your mates and being in this band is like, it's the reason we're all alive, I think, you know. It's what we love it, that's why we do it. And I can't wait to get back and just be able to like see people losing their shit in a crowd. I mean,
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully through our music.
And just going back to the album, I know from what I've heard of it so far, I know you were talking about your different influences. I like thinking it would be like the Stone Roses at one point, the Strokes at another. There's definitely a lot of variety on the album as well, isn't there? I mean, like you've got like a song like My Honest Face, which is an out and out banger. And then there's a lot of other stuff that's perhaps a lot more slow, slinky, melodic. Did you always kind of want to have something that perhaps showed the two different sides to Inhale It then?
I think so.
Absolutely. I think we've never been the band that's like, you know, started off being like, we're going to sound like this and we're going to talk about this and we're going to look like this. You know, it happened really naturally for us. And we are the type of people who are just music heads and we love every type of music. I know everybody says that, but like we genuinely do.
We all come from different musical backgrounds with really eclectic tastes where like we all grew up listening to the same things, but we're also it was
making that sense.
That's why I come from a civilized background. But I mean, like we all grew up listening to different bands that our parents would play us, but at the same time the same music was played in each of our houses simultaneously, and so like it seemed like it would be a bit of a waste for us to have all these influences and not bring them all collectively to the table.
I think that we just don't want to, I mean, we started out as like, you know, the indie rock pop guitar band, and I think for us we've always wanted to be something bigger than that, and like we wanted to have a bigger reach, and I think one of our strengths is that we can dabble in different genres, and I think we've shown that on this album. I'm excited to just get into the next one and see what we're going to come up with on that.
Push more boundaries.
Yeah, I think so.
To that end, if you would have been like, right, you know, the pandemic has allowed us to start like writing, have you already considered what the next Inhaler record might look like? You always wanted to push forward?
Hey, our demos are wild.
Yeah, well, I think we have about like 600 demos.
Buttloads, like.
Yeah, I mean, we've been writing the second album for years. Like, you know, because sometimes, you know, we'll just for the crack just make like some crazy, you know, disco tune and not do anything with it, but then we might use a bit of it and put it in a song, and like that's how a lot of these songs on the record actually came about.
Bits and bobs from different demos.
You know, Slide Out the Window is like quite R&B, and then Who's Your Money On is like kind of almost like dancey, like
Foot to the Floor.
Yeah,
festival anthem.
So that's kind of how our songs come about. It's just we kind of push as much as we can in one direction and then kind of rein it back in and see if we can make a good Inhaler song out of it. But I think on the second album we'll definitely try to do a little bit more experimental.
Amazing. All right, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Good luck, and hopefully when this all subsides we shall see you at one of the shows.
No worries, man.
Thank you guys, have a good one.
Cheers, man.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.